Joined in the studio now by Joe Berkowitz, Joe of Insperity. Joe, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good to have you. I know you've been on the show before, but I think for our listeners' benefit, why don't you give us a little bit of background on what Insperity is and what you guys do?
Oh, fantastic. So Insperity, we're a publicly traded company that lives in the HR space. We have two books of business, really. One is a PEO, professional employer organization, and the other is a standalone portfolio of standalone services that are all HR-centric, and they run the gamut from employee screening to recruiting all the way through to all your insurances that you'll need for a business, up to retirement as well.
And do companies generally engage you for one or the other, or do some companies engage you for both, or how does that work?
That's a great question. So in an ideal world, companies that are not ready for workforce optimization, which is our complete outsourced solution, would start with some of our standalone services.
And that would be the PEO model you're referring to?
Correct,
Okay.
yes. And then they would graduate up to the PEO model. So they would start out with some of the standalone services, maybe it employee screening, and then some more organizational charts or performance management based software. And as time goes on and they grow and they develop, that they would move into and evolve into workforce optimization, which is the PEO complete outsourced solution.
Good. And you guys work with companies all over New England, out of the Boston office, or generally in the Boston area exclusively, or how does that work?
No, we all corners of New England. So out of the Boston office, we service all of New England, and we are in all 50 states throughout the United States.
Okay, so one-stop shop for HR solutions. So you wanted to talk today about healthcare reform and the impact on employers. I know it's been a big focus for you guys. So tell us where you're coming from.
Oh, great, happy to do so. So, with healthcare reform, what we're finding is that there's how are businesses today dealing with all the compliance complexity and costs that they're going to incur and encounter with healthcare reform. Where we come in is we take all of that off your plate and take you out of that equation. So we provide you with benefit plans that meet minimum value and affordability. We provide you with...
Is there such a thing?
With the eyes of the federal government.
The affordability thing's another challenge.
Right. It's all relative, right? But we take that off your plate so that really you don't have to focus on understanding healthcare reform in depth. Mm-hmm. And we essentially what we'll do is we'll take all the administrative duties that come along with that, tackle all of that for you, and what we really present to you at the end of the year, or you have to report on a quarterly basis. I mean, staying up to date on what's going on, all the changes and all the intricacies of this law. I mean, it's a full-time job in itself, and most small business owners don't have the time or the resources to deal with that. And what we're finding are a lot of small businesses are just sort of burying their heads in the sand about that. And
ignoring it.
And
hoping it never rears its ugly head.
Well, what's going to happen? That storm's coming, and while your head's buried in the sand, your body gets battered by the storm. So
yeah, well, I think that